John Lusk here, Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a new head by Vortex. Vortex has been around forever, and they pioneered so much of the mechanical broadhead industry. But now they come out with this Tributim that's really kind of a hybrid head in many ways. That whether it opens or not, you're going to get a decent sized cut, and then when it opens, you get an even bigger cut. So it's got a lot of cool advantages to it. So I'm going to put it to the test using my process for 2024. And for a detailed description of my testing process, why I do what I do and how I score everything, please check out the video that I posted earlier this year called 2024 Broadhead Test Process, and it'll answer so many of those questions. But I'm going to be using my Elite Arrow bow. Okay, it's a new bow for this year, and I'm loving it for most of the shooting. And then for the flight test, I'm going to be using a crossbow because I can mount it on this bog tripod and really make it stable. And it's by Killer Instinct, the SWAT X1. For the arrows, I'm going to be using Bishop Archery FOC King arrows for most of the shooting. I'm using their FAD eliminators for the really hard impact stuff. And for the crossbow bolt, I'm using this beast of a bolt called the GOAT by Bishop Archery. So let's zoom on in here and check out this Tributim and then put it to the test. Here's a good look at the head in the closed position. Now let's start with the materials. It's all steel. You got an all steel ferrule and you've got all steel blades. As for the dimensions, in the closed position, the blades are 7/8 of an inch in diameter. So even if the head were not to open at all, you get a 7/8 of an inch cut in diameter. Plus, you've got this ferrule being pretty thick there, provides an extra 0.1 inch in the opposite direction. Okay, kind of like serving, in the sense, like a little bit of a bleeder there. So you're getting a decent, small but decent wound channel in the closed position. And the overall length of it, it's relatively short overall length. It's measured by my measurements 1.31 inches. And as you can see, the blades are really short as well. So very little surface area. I imagine it's going to fly very well in the closed position. And then what happens is, upon impact, the hide or whatever is impacted is going to catch right there and force the blades back. And let me show it to you in the open position. So here it is in the open position. I might add, that's a pretty stout O-ring right there. It's rated to 450 feet per second. So you can use it with most crossbows and still have it stay in the closed position. Now, if you want to use an even faster crossbow, you can just put an extra O-ring around it there, and that's going to hold it really snug. But here's the blades in the open position, and the cutting diameter there is 1.5 inches. So that's a decent sized cut to give you good damage while still maximizing penetration. Now the blades, like I said, they're 0.030 inches thick, but they're designed with a steel that allows them to be bent up to 170 degrees without breaking. So better to bend than to break, though I'm sure they're even going to bend. But it's really nice to know they have that kind of durability, or so they say. So again, just a nice looking all steel, decent size cut, hybrid broadhead. I imagine it's going to fly very well, and it looks like it's going to hold up really well also. And for sharpening this head, the Stay Sharp Guide Gray Guide works really well with it. Really eager to put this head to the test and see how it performs. The Tributim got a solid 9 ring. It took 162 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale. Plus, it'll get a bonus for being under 200 grams. The Vortex penetrated 9 inches, and you can see it made a really nice wound channel. The blades fully opened about an inch into the gel and then remained open the rest of the way. It took an additional 111 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 7.78 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 55 layers. The head is in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF. And it's still in really good shape after 2 shots through the steel plate. The only real damage you can see is that the tips of the blades got a little bit curled over. Here's the Tributim after all the durability tests, and it did really well through the MDF and the steel plate, but it just couldn't handle that super hard impact on the concrete. It's got kind of the praying mantis look right there to it. I found a few pieces of the blade, but again, this is just 3% of the total score. Actually, I was really impressed with the durability overall of this head, but it didn't fare well in this concrete test. So what'd you think? Hey, you know, this head has a lot of upsides, right? There really isn't like glaring weakness to it. It performed pretty solidly in every category. So it's definitely something to consider. There's a lot that I like about it. So you check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most and see if it might be a good fit for you. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score as well as the corresponding Lusk grade.